They run the ball, are they passing the ball exclusively now, or are they?
They're doing both, but they'll have some new wrinkles every week. But they've got two great receivers in Gaddis and Wright. They can fly. And the quarterback's playing at a real high level. You got to give them credit for losing Robert Griffin, changing their offense completely, getting away from the run some, but throwing for over 400 yards.
You know, Coach Baylor's been down a little bit, but if you look especially at the defense, they have impact players at every level of the defense. This is not your father's Baylor that you're looking at. Talking to your team as you get ready to go, they see that on film, don't they?
Yes, Jordan Lake is as good a safety as there is in the country. Number 21 for our fans to watch. He's been an unbelievable player in their time. He's out of Houston, and he's a guy that can run and hit you and plays tough and aggressive and smart, but they're bigger and better looking up front. They can make plays. They got the big transfer from Penn State in last year that's an impact player for them. And they're playing much better defense, too, than they have. And they're good in the kicking game. Their punter's up for the Ray Guy Award. All of their specialists are back from last year. And obviously, when you lose an impact player like Roberts, you go into a little shock. You have a little trouble figuring out what you got to do to change. And all of a sudden, they've done a great job of finding their niche here 2 weeks before we played them. So we're excited because it should be a great challenge for us.
Like you said, Colton Jordan were playing the best they had, but Nick Florence won Big 12 Player of the Week. Does that just tell you where he is as a quarterback? He was the third string coming into the year. How much better has he gotten this year?
Yes, he was a third teamer, and the second teamer got hurt his shoulder, and he took advantage of that. And I saw him earlier in the year. I can't remember who we were playing, but they had an afternoon game with Oklahoma, and he came out there and just he looked great. And he's tough and threw the ball, and they're going to go for fourth downs. They're going to have trick plays. They'll just leave everything laying out there. But he's very, very accurate, and their two skilled players are as good as anybody in the league. We knew that going in. That what Art has done is upgraded their skill level and their speed. And when you had Robert, he was able to use play action and hit those two guys on screens and hit them deep. And now they're doing the same, but they're doing it from more one back and multiple sets.
Coach, can you talk about Art Briles too? And I know that at least at Kendall, you guys had a pretty big relationship, and I'm sure you work with him as well at Stephenville.
Yes, Art's he is the great high school football coach in the state of Texas when he won championships at Stephenville. He progressed to Texas Tech as an assistant. He went from there to an offensive assistant, went to Houston and did a tremendous job there. And Kevin Sumlin's done a great job, but Art recruited some of those guys, the speed guys, because their offense is as good as anybody in the country, and he'll do the same thing at Baylor. I think he's the perfect hire for them.
Is it interesting knowing that when you got here, I think was his last couple of years at Stephenville, and then see him move up to Stephenville where you're coaching against him?
Yeah, Coach Briles used to work our camp when we first got here, and then obviously we signed Kendall, his son, who's on that staff. Three of our ex-players and coaches are on their staff. Bo Trahan, Kendall Briles, and Casey Horney was a graduate assistant for us on defense. So we've got great respect for their staff. Brian Norwood, I think he played for Dwayne at Arizona, and he's their defensive coordinator. So we have a really good respect and good relationship with their guys, and they've done a great job recruiting. I think that's the thing you can see. They've upgraded their entire football team, and when you walk on the field, there were some years where you'd walk out there and look at their guys and your guys and say, whoo, boy, they can't run very fast. And when you watch this film, it gets your attention. They've got good players.
Can you talk about with Cody getting the start and obviously getting more playing time now, can you talk about the challenge of trying to effectively throw the ball with him in the game and keep other defenses on him?
Yes, he can do that now. He's gotten his weight down, his confidence is up, he's protecting the ball, and just like the little check down that we hit him on Saturday, which was about a 4-yard play, he turned it into a 14-yard play. So we feel like he can do all those things. We're not asking our backs to get deep very often, and we'll still have Fozzie in there. We're going to bracket Fozzie and Trey Newton together and let Trey's healthy again, so let him have another run at it. And so we're just trying to find the right combinations. And what we've said across the board is that we want the guys that produce the most in the games to be the one to have the first chance to run out there. Now, they'll still all play. But just like James Kirkendall will start with Malcolm Williams and Jordan this weekend, but we will play Marquise Goodwin and John Childs a whole lot. So we're still rotating those guys and trying to keep fresh guys in the game. John Childs is getting better. You know, Marquise learns something every week, and and Marquise and John had the longest or the furthest to come because John hadn't played receiver and Marquise was brand new and wasn't even around this summer. So they're learning each day, and hopefully we'll continue to get better.
Coach, you talked about this being a fun game, and you guys usually play well against them. Can you explain just over the years why it's been so light?
Well, we had better players early. When we got here, they've Baylor's. I'm on our fourth Baylor coach. When you think about that, because they haven't had continuity in what they've been able to do, and that really affects your recruiting. And Art will stay there and do a really good job there. So I think we'll see a different Baylor from now on and the rest of the time that Art stays, because they're just more talented, and he has a great relationship with the high school coaches, so he can get the players. And they've already beaten more Big 12 teams than Baylor had beaten there in a while. So it's a different attitude. He has a confidence and a swagger about him, about high school football in this state. They're going to win with Texas kids, and he'll do a great job. So I think that's the biggest thing for us. We're going in this game with great respect.
Which is it nice to get back to Big 12 play after that?
It is. The hardest thing last week is not playing Tech in that slot was different for us. But a lot of the teams across the country stick a game that's not in their conference about now just to kind of break up the conference race a little bit for them and take a little breather. Central Florida's pretty good. So you look at them, they're one of the best teams in their league, and they are in and year out. And watching them on Sunday night, they didn't play well against Marshall at all and still won, and I thought that's awful, because our kids are going to sit there and watch every play, and I'm going to go in tomorrow and say, now, they're a pretty good team and all this, and they're going to say, yeah, Coach, and our fans are the same way. So I felt like that the preparation was pretty good and we played well, but this will be exciting for us. Our goal is the Big 12 South, so we can play in Jerry Jones Stadium for the Big 12 championship. Our dream is the national championship, and this gets right back to the middle of our goals, and this will be very, very important to our kids. But I thought they handled it pretty well last week. You look around the country, I still don't understand. Our guys played really hard. We didn't have as much emotion as we would have for an Oklahoma State or somebody else, and I get that. Because when you look around the country, it's just not happening with teams and kids, and there's sometimes they get mentally tired, and that was the week that we played Tech last year, and it's a tough run this time of the year. They get worn out, so we have to balance how to pick them back up. And I think watching Baylor watching them play well against Nebraska, watching them win against Missouri, will really help them get excited about this game.
Coach, last week you talked about the fans and what it challenged them for an early game. You just mentioned the players maybe not coming out with as much fire. What about the fans? What did you think of their performance? I
don't get to, I've got the headsets on. I don't get to hear them much. I was glad they came. Somebody said some of the students came in late and they were there, but I thought our fans came, and I thought they did good. When we're not, fans are fans. And when you don't make plays, fans are going to sit on their hands. It's always amazed me. We need the fans when we're in trouble, and they're all mad. You don't need them when you're blowing people out and you're making great plays and they're all happy. So what we've got to do, and our fans have been great in some times where we've been in trouble. And that's, I go back to that Oklahoma State game when we were down 35-14 at halftime. They gave us a standing ovation. I thought it was a setup. I kept thinking, okay, something wrong here. This isn't us. This isn't right. But our fans have done great, and I thought there were times Saturday where they really tried, especially for the defense and defensive stands, and offense. It was just a day of big plays, and it was fun. But I really felt like that they came and they tried, and I thought they were like our team. I don't think it was our best effort. I don't think they were at the height of their enthusiasm, but I thought they came and tried and did well. So, and we expect the road crowds are great. When somebody takes time to go on the road and spend their money and their effort to drive and get it, so I'm expecting a great crowd on Saturday. I love walking out in Waco and seeing that many Texas fans there.